And we're gonna start seated, cross-legged. I'm not feeling super a lot of anything. So I just want to invite all of you, all of the parts of you, all of the feelings that are present, and start with this inquiry within ourselves. What part of us are we intentionally or unintentionally leaving out or pushing away this morning in order to quote unquote practice? And I just offer that in order to practice in a way that is effective, you're going to need to bring it all here. There's nothing about you that this practice is going to help you surmount except for the resistance to you. So with that, I invite you to sit comfortably, close your eyes if that adds to the comfort, and just notice without making a thing about it what your posture is like to start, and consider the possibility of being able to relax into a more comfortable seat rather than muscling your way into a better seat. Relax into a posture that can hold you, where you feel held rather than feeling like you're holding the posture. And a couple of long, slow, sighing out breaths, just moving stuff around inside. All of you that's right here, right now, holds all the potential, all the capacity that you are. Just welcoming all those tendrils of yourself back into the body, into the here and now. And we'll open with the sound of Om one time. Exhale out your mouth. Inhale for Om. Really easy, just start to stir your spine around, making a circle with your spine, press your ribs forward. And I always like to imagine I'm inside some kind of cylinder. And for whatever reason, a classic glass Coke bottle is always what I think of. So you just imagine you're sort of sliding your torso around this cylindrical surface. And again, just notice what direction you've started in. You can go as slow or as quick as you like. Pay some attention to your breath. And if it feels like you get more shape in your body by coordinating your breath, specifically with the movement, then do that. Again, create the experience of being held by just softening into your tissues. Stretch and slide your bones around inside your skin. And then reverse the direction that you're moving your spine, and maybe start a little slower so that you can figure it out. We generally move first in the direction that we're most accustomed to, and it can feel a little awkward to go in the other direction, or we just notice like hiccup spots. Let your head just flop around for a couple of rounds. Not trying to shape your body, but resting into the shape that your body's taking. And then come to something like center, where center feels now, and bring the bottoms of your feet together, like an easy Baddha Konasana, but you don't need to pull your feet in. Just let them kind of land. And then lean over into your left hand. So I'm not mirroring you guys, so you don't need to look to me for direction. Lean into your left hand. Reach your right arm up alongside your head. And as you exhale, push with your left hand into the floor and really bow out into your right side ribs. And then breathe along these curves. Maybe the inhale gives you a little more height or shape, and then as you exhale, sink into the shape. Inhale and lift up off of any areas of pinching or pressure, and then exhale, melt into the new shape. Another breath like this. And now bring your right hand over to your left knee and take an easy twist. So opposite hand to knee. Lift your chest up, bring your left hand back behind your hip probably. And as you inhale, try to get wider in your pelvis and your ribs, wide. And then as you exhale, draw your navel to your spine and twist a little. And then see if you can bring some breath awareness down a little deeper into your pelvis. We can move our navel pretty easily, most of us. See if on the inhale you can allow your pelvis to get heavier, and then on exhale, drawing in and up through the cavity of your vagina. If you have a vagina, through the perineum, if that's easier to identify. But feeling for this pulse of breath, expand and contract all the way deep down into the root of your body. And then come back to center. Sit cross-legged with the opposite shin in front. Just pause for a moment there. Notice that. Again, probably the unfamiliar or less frequent way that you cross your legs. And just take a few easy circles here. Maybe you want to move through something more like cow-cat. We're not going to spend as long circling here. But feel for the possibility of, again, moving your bones around inside your skin, melting into a shape rather than muscling your way into a shape. Go in both directions. Let your head move. Good. And then lift up to center. Slide your knees apart so the bottoms of your feet touch, and then lean over into your right hand. Stretch your left arm up alongside your head, and as you exhale, really bend at your waist. Push with your right hand so that you also have a lot of weight on your left hip as well. You shouldn't feel like you're leaning to the right in your pelvis, just in your torso. And as you breathe in, make a big rounded shape on the left side of your ribs. And exhale, melt into it. Use the next inhale to lift up out of any areas where there's too much pressure or any feeling of pinching. Good. Take this next exhale for your jaw. Open up your mouth as you sigh out. And now bring your left hand to your right knee, opposite hand to knee. Lift your chest, bring your right hand to the floor behind your hips. And inhale, get wider in your ribs, especially across your back. On your exhale, navel to spine, and then just let your attention and your sensitivity keep sinking deeper. Inhale, feel your pelvis get kind of heavy. And on exhale, draw in and up through the base of the central channel. So for female bodies, quite literally the channel of your vagina. And if that's out of reach this morning, can think of the perineum lifting up into the body a little bit. So not forcing a twist as much as creating more of like a spiral shape. I'm just thinking of DNA like a double helix, where that you're not compressing the channel in the center, just starting to spiral around yourself. Good. And then come back to center, sit up. We're gonna go back into our Sukhasana. I do want to do this one piece. Sometimes I'm happy to let my sequence fall by the wayside, but I do want to do this. So whichever shin is in front when you sit cross-legged, pick up that shin, hold that foot with the opposite hand, and then support the knee with the same side hand. Flex your ankle a lot, and your shin might stay parallel to the ground, and you just hold here. You could even give yourself a little more support by holding under the shin. If there's space for it, you can start to draw your shin towards your chest, but keep your ankle super flexed and think of pressing your knee away from you even as you draw the shin towards you. Yeah. And then if you want, you can kind of rock side to side, just feeling for a more stable seat. And then bring your focus back to your breath. So can you sense your breath, or at least imagine it? And that's also really powerful. Your breath expanding all the way down to the base of your body, expanding down through your pelvic floor muscles. And then on exhale, it's not tucking under or pinching or squeezing, but draw in and up from the earth. And just a couple more breaths here. Slowing down the breath can really support a little more sensitivity deeper in the body. Good. And then relax this shin down to the floor. Lean back on your hands. Slide both legs out and just bounce out the knees a little bit. And then we'll go to the other side without using your hands. Sit cross-legged with the opposite shin in front. Take a hold of that opposite foot and hand. Create your figure 4 shape. We typically do this on the back. Make sure your ankle is very strongly flexed and you don't feel any pinching in the knee. Hold on to the shin in a way that supports you to sit up. It can be quite low. And then slow down your breathing so you find a certain amount of sensation where you can still focus on the subtler movement or sensation of your breath. Notice if you're really pulling away from the earth in order to get more of a stretch, find the sweet spot where you are equal parts engaged in effort and also belonging to the reality of now. Oh, big yawn. Excuse me. Slowly release your shin. Lean back into your hands and slide your legs open. Give them a little shake. And then make your way onto hands and knees. Here's where you may want to place your blanket, because we will be on the knees for a little bit. So if you like having cushion under your knees, grab your blanket. Got my sequence. Hands under shoulders, knees together. And we're going to do hip circles here. So a little bit of glute activation. As you breathe in, your right knee is going to go straight out to the side. And then circle your hip around so your knee's behind you now. Exhale, round your back, bring your knee toward your face. Inhale, look forward as your right knee opens to the side. Keep looking forward, maybe even up as your knee lifts behind you. Exhale, knee to chest. And now allow for this movement to happen while you're also focused on the more subtle sensation of breath. Not just mechanically organizing your breath and your movement in a choreography, but moving in such a way that allows you to sense your breath moving deep into your body. Open expanse in your pelvis as you inhale, and then exhale, draw in and up. So if we have a dysphoric relationship to our pelvis, or kind of a numb experience of our pelvic floor, we're not actually able to do core work effectively. They're inextricably connected. So it's super helpful to get those deeper core muscles, the pelvic floor muscles, turned on before we try to do anything else in what we call the abs. All right, now next time your right knee is behind you, hold it there. Flex your ankle. Even out your hips, so bring the right hip probably down and in a little bit. And then see if you can feel for just the right glutes engaging rather than the hamstrings so much. Kick your heel up a little bit without lifting your hip. And then see if you can balance on your left fingertips. So the right hand is still flat. Come up onto your left fingertips. Kick your right heel a little bit higher. See if you can do that with the glutes more than the hamstrings. My right glutes are really kind of lazy. Last breath here. and then right knee down. Bring your hands back a few inches so you're in kind of this narrow hands and knees position. Round your spine a lot. Push your butt to your heels and curl into what we'll just call like a little like a timid child's pose. Just curling in, bundling yourself up, chin to chest. Keep breathing. Really round your spine with this exhale. And then inhale, come forward. Hands can walk forward. Start with your knees together. We're going to circle the left leg. So as you inhale, do look forward. Think cow pose. Open your left knee to the side. And then when you meet that limit, curl it around behind you. Lift your knee a little higher. There's your butt cheek. Exhale, knee to chest. Round your spine. Inhale, look forward, knee to the side, and then look up as your knee lifts up. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale, open, look forward. Exhale. Move in such a way that you're not just experiencing this kind of extreme sensation of glutes working and stretching the hip, but also the more subtle action of your breath and pulse deep into the pelvis. When you start to notice the tendency or ease with which you override some of these subtler sensations, like just breathing, there can be a feeling of vulnerability that accompanies the pulling back, the slowing down. Continue with the rhythmic movement, acknowledging where the ground is and where your support is coming from. And the next time your left knee is behind you, flex your left ankle a lot. Even out the level of your hip joints. And then kick your left heel up a little bit higher and try to do that with your glutes more than your hamstrings. The hamstrings are going to be working, but just make sure that your glutes are primarily engaged here. Draw your front ribs in away from the floor so you're not in such a sagging spine position. Pull your front ribs back and then lift some weight off of your right hand and just touch the mat with your right fingertips. Continue to breathe. We'll be here for 2 more cycles of breath. If your breath is faster than mine, then go ahead and come down. Bring your left knee down, walk your hands back a couple of inches, round your spine a lot, like a cat stretch, and then curl back into this really like timid child's pose. Good. Chin to chest, maybe forehead to the floor, maybe it feels like more the top of your head, but really push with your hands to curl back. Slowly rise to a kneeling position, and here's where it might be nice to have a prop, either a block to sit on or a blanket behind your knees or between your legs if kneeling doesn't feel good on your knees or ankles. We're going to do a couple of short rounds of breath of fire. So what I want you to feel for, a couple things. I'll face you. Place one hand over your belly button. Hold one hand up in front of your face. Imagine this is a birthday candle. And with your mouth open, exhale really quickly like you're going to blow out this candle. Now, you should just naturally feel your belly button kind of snap back as you blow forcefully out. Now I want you to do that same quality of breath through your nostrils. Keep your mouth closed. And that is going to be our breath of fire today. We're not doing super, super fast. I'm going to do it with you. I'll give you the cue when to start slowing it down and normalizing the flow of air. So if you don't need the prop candle out in front of you, you can put the left hand over your belly button as well. Close your eyes if that adds to your concentration. Hands can also rest on your thighs. Start with a full cycle of breath. Inhale, exhale. And then inhale about 50% of a full breath and begin your breath of fire. Ten more. And relax your breath. Notice if your muscles are trying to hold this pose, if the chest is collapsing or you're sticking your tail way out. See if you can soften for our second round. If you feel like you have the desire to go a little faster, go for it. If that already feels a little disorienting, you might want to practice Ujjayi breath for the next round, about 30 seconds to a minute of Ujjayi breath. We'll start all together again. Inhale slowly, exhale completely. Inhale 50% of a full breath and begin your rapid exhale out the nose. About 10 more. And when you are done with that last exhale, just slow it down. Take a couple full rounds of inhale, exhale with no extra force. If you've got socks on or slippers like me, take them off. And from your kneeling position, come onto hands and knees. Tuck your toes under and lift your knees up for downward facing dog. Anchor into your hands. You might even keep your elbows slightly bent for a couple of breaths. Imagine you could stretch your mat in half, right to left, and then hang your head. Look back at your feet, a little bend in your knees, and press down and out with your feet as well. Stretch your mat in half, right to left. Draw your front ribs back toward your hips. Lift your pelvis toward the ceiling and then hug your outer hips back toward the wall behind you. Give your head a gentle shake. Make sure the neck is not holding your head up at all here. Just let your head be heavy. Push down and out through hands and feet. Inhale slowly. Exhale, activate your legs and press your pelvis back as you draw your perineum in and up. Inhale, get wide through your pelvis, wide across the back of your ribs. Exhale, lengthen from your rectum to your skull. Couple more breaths like this. Bend your knees a bit more, look forward. Step your right foot forward between your hands. Come up onto your left fingertips. Bring your right hand to your outer right knee and push your knee and your hand into one another. Gently turn your chest to the right. You should feel a lot of action in your outer right hip. If you moved your hand, your knee would fall open to the side. So really push through your outer right hip into your hand and then just open up across your chest. Now, soften that action enough to be able to feel your breath move all the way down to your tailbone, your pelvis. Lengthen from your rectum to your skull as you exhale. Inhale, put your right hand on the mat. Exhale, down dog. Stay for a full round of breath in downward facing dog, strong arms and legs. Inhale, little bend in your knees, look forward. Exhale, knee to chest, step through. Balance on your right fingertips. Bring your left palm to your outer left thigh. Push your leg strongly into your hand. Keep it in place with your hand, and then gentle twist. Just really light twist here. Make sure you're holding yourself up with both legs. So you could even take your right hand off the mat for a second and not fall over. Breathe all the way down to the base of your torso and all the way back up with your exhale out the head. Lighten up through your neck. Couple more breaths. Really strong outer press through your left leg. And then bring your left hand down. Step back to down dog. Open up your feet a little bit wider than your hips. Stay for a breath. And with your exhale, walk your hands back to your feet. Point your toes out slightly and come down into a squat. We're not going to be here for very long, so if you want to keep your heels up, that can take a lot of pressure off of your knee joints and your hip joints. If your heels touch the floor, just make sure you're not collapsing here in your chest. With your right hand, take your right hand to your left shin. Press your left thigh away from you with your left hand and lean into your opposite leg. So my right shoulder is leaning into my right knee. Stretch your left leg away from you. Take a long, slow, deep breath in. Exhale, push the floor with both of your feet. Keep your right hand where it is. Take your left hand to your right shin. So now your arms should be crossed. Center your spine. Fold forward and point your toes forward. Take a long, slow, deep breath in. Bend your knees a little bit. As you exhale, pull your legs together with your hands. Push your legs out into your hands. Hang your head. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Let your elbows cross. And as you exhale, wrap your arms like eagle. Inhale, stand all the way up. Lift your elbows to the ceiling. Exhale, elbows toward your belly button and round your upper back. Inhale, elbows up, look up. Exhale, elbows toward your belly button, look down. One more. Inhale, elbows up, look up. Exhale, elbows toward your belly button. Unwind your arms. Inhale, reach all the way up to the ceiling. And exhale, swan dive forward. Hands touch the floor. Walk your hands forward so you're in a plank position. Hold plank for your exhale. Get really strong in your arms and your legs. Inhale, chaturanga. Exhale, push up to plank. Do that again or hold plank. Do it a third time or hold plank. Back to down dog. Open your feet a little bit wider than hips width distance. On an exhale, walk your hands back to your feet. Turn your toes out slightly, come into a squat. Make sure you've got space on either side of your torso. You're not rounding in your spine. If that's the case, lift your heels a little bit. With your left hand, grab your right shin. Lean your left shoulder into your left leg. And with your right hand, push the other leg away from you. Side stretch here. Lean your torso into your left thigh. Push your hands into your right leg. Take a big breath in, and as you exhale, draw in and up through your perineal tissue. And now bring your right hand over the left. Grab the opposite shin. Forward fold. Point all 10 toes straight ahead. Drop your head toward the floor. Inhale here. Exhale. Pull in with your hands. Push out with your shins. Inhale, bend your knees and look forward. Your elbows are crossed. Exhale, eagle wrap your arms. Inhale, stand all the way up. Lift your elbows to the ceiling. Look up. Exhale, pull your elbows to your belly button, round your spine. Inhale, elbows up, look up. Exhale, elbows to belly button, round your back. Inhale, elbows up, look up. Exhale, elbows in, unwind your arms. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, swan dive forward, touch the ground. Walk all the way forward to a plank. Get strong and sturdy in your arms and your legs. Hands and feet press down and out. Inhale, chaturanga. Exhale, plank. Do that 2 more times or hold plank for 2 more breaths. Downward facing dog. Walk your feet towards the middle of your mat. You can move your blanket out of the way. Walk your